From Vancouver to Calgary and even right here in Toronto, support is growing for demonstrators in Hong Kong protesting a controversial government bill. As protests continue throughout Hong Kong, many across the Greater Toronto area, including Mimi Lee, who moved here in 2001, have been hitting the pavement to educate Canadians on why they should pay attention to what's happening overseas.
This amendment of extradition bill is not a Hong Kong issue. It's a global problem.
The clashes between protesters and police in Hong Kong have captured the world's attention. Demonstrators angry with how their government has handled a proposed extradition bill that would allow people in the former British colony to face trial in mainland China, currently under communist rule.
All they need is one request from the Chinese government, then they can just send anybody to China for a trial. And we all know the Chinese government doesn't function the same way as we do.
The legislation, which sparked turmoil throughout the region, was pegged as a failure. And on Tuesday, leader Carrie Lam said the bill was dead. But the mass demonstrations continued. Opponents and demonstrators want Lam to completely withdraw the bill. This political analyst specializing in China and Hong Kong relations says Canada should side with the protesters.
Look at the two Michaels. This is exactly what Canada has experienced so far. There's no fair trial.
She's talking about Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, two Canadians detained in China for months accused of spying. They were arrested shortly after Canada detained the CFO of Huawei, and a third Canadian was detained this weekend, further straining the two countries' relationship.
We are dealing with a dictatorial regime here.
With the federal elections coming up later this October, Fung is launching a campaign to lobby politicians from all parties to take a stance.
It won't be confined to two Michaels. There will be more Canadians to be arbitrarily arrested and to be held as hostages in the future, negotiation.
In cities across Canada, Honk Kongers have set up their own protests and rallies to garner support for demonstrators, as well as a Lenin wall that was outside Union Station for 2 days with the intention of raising awareness on the fallout of this bill.
We should stop the bill in the right time. Otherwise, once it's passed, there won't be any return.
In the meantime, Gloria Fung tells me they're looking for a permanent location for the Lenin Wall so people across the GTA can access information on the latest in Hong Kong and offer their support. In Toronto, I'm Faiza Amin for City News.